Warning, I'm just having fun with old cars. I hope you get some tips and a good laugh from watching, but don't do what I do on your projects. What is up, everybody? The hot rod's home and it's unloaded. I'll show you a quick clip of that. Got pretty sketchy there for a minute. So check that out. Okay, welcome back. I wanted to kind of show you guys around this car and some of the cool stuff I found. And also kind of go through, we got a truckload of parts over there. So I want to do that because I know in the last video we didn't really look at the car all that much. So I want you guys to kind of see what's going on with it. And what kind of car we're going to have when we're done. Maybe we'll talk about some of the future plans for the hot rod. Rusty's family hauler, or my wife's car, because she said she wants it last night, so guess I gotta buy another one. Anyway, let's kind of walk around this thing. I'll show you the inside, some of the cool stuff we've got, and then we'll start digging through all that stuff we got in the bed of the truck. So, obviously, don't mind the fan noise. This battery is exactly 2 years old and has basically taken a complete crap on me. So, that's what happens when you buy the old Walmart EverStart value model. Anyway, let's go on a little stroll. Obviously, trunk. So in here, it's a pretty decent looking trunk floor. There and there is a fiberglass rust repair. So that's it's less than ideal, but we're gonna do the right thing and not touch it because I want this thing on the road and I can do metal work later, or maybe I won't do it at all. But this here, I'm pretty sure this lower pan here is probably all rusted, and it's probably repaired a long time ago, and this is just kind of how that stuff goes. It is not bad enough that I'm gonna do anything with it. Until it starts to fall apart, we're gonna let it ride like that, because this thing is gonna be driver quality. That's what we're looking at. Trunk, kind of same. I'm calling this car perfectly imperfect. You know, you can't beat the way it shuts. We got all the trim on it. This is a Texas car, so it doesn't seem to have a ton of rust, but what it does have, it's there. We're missing all the side trim. There's gonna be a lot of spinning around of the camera here. We are missing all the side trim. If any of you know where to get side trim for this car, I know some of it's reproduced for the 2 doors. I know some of it is not reproduced for the 4-door. So if you've got any, or know somebody that's got some, or know somebody that's got one of these cars sitting around that we might be able to get the trim off of, let me know, because I'd really like to have the trim back on the side of it. Yeah, back to what we were doing. Paint, you know, it's got some imperfections. It's got some whiskey dents in the door. No big deal. I need to unstrap the hood so we can pick it up, but front end looks pretty good. I'll show you in a minute. We've got all the grill, bumper, and all that stuff. It'll be going back on pretty soon. Let's see if you can you see in there? Engine compartment looks pretty clean. We've got some work to do in here. That master needs to get changed for the brakes, and obviously, you know, the lack of a drivetrain is a thing. But it's a factory. Before we get into that, let me keep going around the outside. It's got a CPP control arm kit with it's got a brace. If I'm not mistaken on that, that gets rid of what I believe is called a radius rod, maybe, in the suspension. It's supposed to be a pretty solid upgrade for these. It's also got disc brakes on the front, which I'm trying to figure out a plan to keep the 14-inch wheels and get wheel covers and still run the disc brakes. So that's in the works. If you have some 14-inch steel wheels that are disc brake type, or 14-inch rally wheels, they'll be disc brake type most likely. Hit me up. I need a pair of them. But we kind of same thing. A little, you know, Grandma got a little carried away at the grocery store with the cart. It happens. These things live a long life, and they were cheap commuter cars. So that's kind of the basics of the outside. A couple of whiskey dents on this side, nothing major. Obviously, it's got a five lug rear end put in it already, and the front was converted to 5-lug with the disc brakes. So that's a huge upgrade. Be nice. I'll feel a lot better about my wife driving it with good brakes on it and stuff. So it's gonna need all new rubber seals, which will be a project for some time in the future. I do want to do it just because I think this car is nice enough to be worth doing it. Obviously, they're, you know, that Texas heat ain't no joke. It's got the original door panels and everything. The two rear ones are in pretty good shape. I think they'll clean up pretty good. I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but these seats have like a floral print on them, and I think they're stinking sweet looking. I love the interior of this car, and it's in good Survivor quality. Obviously, headliner's gone. They always are. Carpet, it's dirty, definitely, but it's not real crusty or anything. I'm gonna try and clean it up and bring it back the best I can, and if that doesn't work, I'll get a carpet kit for it. While I move to the front, I usually don't worry about interior in cars like this, but or in any of my old stuff. You kind of know how the inside of my truck looks, but I feel like this car deserves to have a good interior in it, especially if my family stuff's gonna be in it. I just want it to be nice inside if I can, so that's gonna be a lot higher priority on this car than it normally is on my stuff. And just look at this. One more. I mean, it's pretty solid. The only major thing it's missing. Another thing, if somebody's got them, knows where to get them, I would like to have not brand new armrests to put on this, to where they kind of match the quality of the inside. That would be perfect world scenario. May not happen. It's just the way it goes. If I'm being honest, This is the first time I've sat in the driver's seat. It's as you can see, it's got a third pedal down here. And it was a column shift 3 on the tree unit. And it originally had straight 6. And you may have noticed, or you may not have, this is an original AC car. Somewhere I might have there's a bunch of paperwork that we're going to look through here in a minute too. We may have the build sheet, hopefully, in that paperwork. Because it's kind of interesting. It's a radio deleted car with AC. And I don't know if that was common. I really don't know anything about these cars. But it seems weird to me that you would pay for the AC and not the radio. But you never know. It's a different time. So, you can kind of see the dash. All of this, I mean, this is quality Survivor stuff here. We are going to end up putting a radio in it. Part of the deal for the car was Cole, also known as One More Bolt, wants this radio delete panel, and he did give me a factory radio panel to put in its place. But he's got a race car and I don't, so we're going to swap them out. And you can see all the AC stuff under the dash. And this was like a silly thing that I was really blown away by, is how nice all this stuff is. Like, look at the cardboard in the glove box. Those are almost always eaten up by rats or water damaged or can't hold their own weight anymore, but it's there and it's pretty solid. These were really cool. These are from the factory dealer, just giving you advice on how to do some stuff. I thought that was incredibly neat. I like weird stuff like that. And then there's all of this. So, let me see if I can get this out one-handed. Hang on. So, this is from the original. Hold on. Let me get where maybe we can see better. This is from the dealer. And I believe this is like a maintenance. What do we got here? Hope that your service, which will. So this is like a service packet that came with the car when it was bought. I mean, we're gonna take this stuff to the shade where we can see a little better. Hang on. So this is like warranty repairs and maintenance stuff. I am scared to open it because I don't want to mess up anything that's inside it. This, super cool to me. Look at this advertising. Even the hubcap, wheel cover options. Just look at this. I mean, I can't tell you how cool I think this is. And in fact, this stuff's gonna come out of the car for now, because I don't want anything to happen to this. The fact that this original booklet is in here is insane to me. Look at the colors and the pictures. It's crazy. I mean, you just don't see stuff like this anymore. And I'm weird. I like all that kind of stuff. Here's the owner's guide. In here, there's a bunch of service receipts and stuff. I don't want to tear this up, so I'm not gonna try and pull it out one-handed. The owner's protection plan. This is so, and this actually has the original owner's info in it of the car and the dealer info. And this is all for like service stuff, I guess, or warranty stuff possibly. And when it, like now they do service plans, but it's just in the computer. But these are actual coupons to get your car maintenance that you had to turn in. I mean, this is incredible to me. I think this is as cool as the car to me, to have all this stuff. So that's that. This is another one. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Wind. This is another one of those things. Advertisement for paint specials. And look at the prices. I mean, does this say, does this have a date on it? I don't see. Oh, this was clipped out of some sort of magazine. Because look at, this stuff is ads for other stuff. So this was clipped out of a magazine, and they held onto it in case they needed paint work, I guess. So that's pretty incredible to me. There's a bunch of, this is all insurance policy stuff. I have the title for it too, which this is all insurance policies that were on it, which is neat, I guess. Holy cow. Some of this I have not opened yet. But this is a map. As some of you are going, yeah, obviously it's a map. But it's incredibly hard to read. So I don't know who was reading this, but props to them. That's neat. And obviously they weren't reading it too much because this is a hand-drawn map. And look at, they put how many miles you were on, and they put, look at Y store, some sort of cemetery, the hay barn, house. So this is somebody's handwritten directions back before we had the gypsies to screw us all up. That's, man, I can't tell you guys how cool I think this stuff is. Here's a second owner's guide. This one's not in the plastic, so I don't feel like I'm gonna ruin it trying to get it out one-handed. But look at this. I mean, it's all, this stuff's so cool. And I know I've spent a very long time on this, so we'll keep the video moving. But first, my brother hooked me up with this. He had a couple extra, he said, or I don't. He collects these because he has a lot of these cars, and this is like an original service manual, and it's got like handwritten revisions and stuff. Oh, we got a race car in the neighborhood. This has like handwritten revisions and stuff in it, and it was all scanned in to make this book, which is another thing that I think is freaking cool. It makes me so happy that all this stuff is with the car. That these old cars, everybody says it, but the story is almost as important as the car. and we're gonna try and keep the story rolling on this one. And in saying that, I want to keep all this stuff as nice as I can. So I gotta figure out the best way to store all that stuff and possibly make a way to display it, because I'm not a big car show guy or anything, but we go to some cruise nights and stuff, and I want to do that with this car, and it would be neat to have all this advertising on display and different paperwork. So that'll be something we get around to that I've never had to worry about, because I own a bunch of junk, and this car is nicer than most anything I've ever owned that I didn't have a payment on, at least. So that's kind of the basics of the car. I'm actually gonna pause this for a minute and get the hood up and kind of show you under the hood, and then we'll get going through the parts and wrap this deal up pretty quick, hopefully. Okay, we got the hood up. I don't know, it's a little strange to me that this is black, but whatever. It's pretty nice under here. I believe the shock towers are kind of rust locations. Probably that area back there, I would assume. And all that looks pretty good, I would say. Just realized that there's no shocks in there, so I need to get shocks ordered up. We'll add that to the list. As part of what I'm doing too is kind of getting an idea of where I'm at on stuff. But you can see this is that CPP. They add this brace for the front portion of the control arms to attach to, and it's just this was just a original 6-cylinder car. Like I said, it's got all the AC stuff in it, and I have the condenser and stuff that I'll show you guys here in a minute. Yeah, we've got, my brother really hooked me up on master cylinder and some different stuff. So yeah, we got a very solid start to a good little cruiser, a good little hot rod cruiser, because I think it's gonna run pretty good and be fun to drive. So yeah, that's kind of the car. Until we dig into it more and I learn more, I can't tell you nothing else about it, because you guys have got as in-depth of a look around it as I have. And that's it. I'm gonna set you guys up over there, and we're gonna fast-paced fire through those parts. I'll kind of go over what they are as I'm pulling them out, and we'll wrap this deal up. Okay, first thing, we got a radiator. This is the factory inline 6 radiator, so we might try it, see if it'll work. We might upgrade it, kind of depends on time and budget. This is the factory AC thing. I don't really know much about AC, so this is the thing that does the thing for the AC. This is a obviously very used 66, according to the swap meet writing here, 66 Impala radiator. I don't know, Cole didn't know anything about it. I definitely don't know anything about it, but it's a little bit bigger than the Nova one, so we may see if this will fit or if it even holds water. So we threw it in the pile. We got the factory drive shaft from the car, and that looks like a pretty new U-joint in it, so that's cool. This is the front, I don't know, splash guard or splash pan, maybe? I don't really know what it's called, but it goes on the front of the car. We got the original bumper, Texas plate and all, and it's in about as good. It's good a shape as the rest of the trim, so good to have. This is a aluminum intake that he didn't want because it's spread bore, and I'm not as picky as he is, so I took it. It came with the old Oklahoma mud daubers on it, so see, Puddin' Fab Shop viewers, you know about them. This is a factory Nova front sump oil pan for small block Chevy. You can see normally the sump would be here, it would be here, but the Novas you got to come in the front because of the steering, or you got to have some big goofy cutout. So this is a factory style pan, which is awesome to have. Equally as awesome to have is a set of headers. Obviously small block Chevy, that they're supposed to, these actually came off one of his cars, so they should fit. They've already been properly massaged, so save us a little work on that, hopefully, unless it doesn't. These units, I don't know how I'm gonna move by myself, but this is something called, it's a 3-speed Saginaw transmission, and it's got, this unit here is actually an overdrive unit, and it's electronically activated. So from what he told me, there's some way to make this unit fit on a 4-speed Saginaw, and that may be something we get into later on down the road. Probably not right off the bat, but it's a pretty intriguing deal that I'm kind of interested in finding out about. So once again, if any of you know something about these, any information will help, because you'll see in just a second. I guess you've probably already seen it, but this, whoa, these old Saginaws will make your nozzle sag, if you know what I mean. They're heavy, is what I was trying to say. This is the 4-speed Saginaw transmission, and spoiler alert, having a stroke or something. This is probably what's gonna end up in the car, with a floor shifter. Not for sure yet, but it's starting to look that way. So another fantastic thing that my brother hooked me up with, I'm excited about. So wait right there while I blow my back out trying to move this thing by myself. Why does it have this bracket on it? What is this for? Oh. Okay. Almost didn't make it back. This factory AC compressor and factory transmission cross member, both good things to have. Okay, last but definitely not least, we have a whole tub of parts. We got 4-speed floor shifter, we got 4-speed shifter that mounts to the transmission, we've got a factory bumper jack, we got a battery tray, we've got We have a dual master cylinder. I'm too out of shape for all this. We have our, hold on. We have our nice original Nova radiator. Radiator? Okay, I might need a break. This is a radio, not a radiator. But yeah, we got a bunch of stuff like that in here. So, again, all super helpful stuff to have. So, I'm gonna get this stuff loaded up. Okay, so one last thing I want to talk about. My rough idea at the moment, and it's depending on a lot of different factors, but I've got the S10 for sale. If anyone's interested, let me know. I talked about it with my wife last night because she really wants to get this car done. She really does like it, which is awesome. That's why I wanted a car like this. That's the exact reason. So it makes me super happy that I got here and she loved it. So I've got the S10 for sale. The way it sits. If it doesn't sell in 3 weeks, that's the timeline I've given myself, which will probably be 2 weeks from when this video comes out. If it doesn't sell by then, I'm going to pull the motor out of it and try to sell it as a roller. The motor from it is going to go in the Rusty Speaking Custom parts truck. That's what I'm calling it. It's a parts runner, but it's basically a parts truck at this point. The 4.8 will come out of that S10, go in that truck, and my current plan is to take the motor from that truck and put it in this car with that 4-speed and a floor shifter. It sounds simple. There's a little more to it than that, but I've got everything. I should have everything here except for maybe different motor mounts to LS swap the C10 with carburetor on it, just like exactly the way it is in the S10. I have a bolt right up to my turbo 400. I'll be able to use the radiator and just have to figure out hoses and stuff. So just a few little things, we could have that done, and that would give me a motor that I know is good to put in the Nova, because we got all this stuff to put a small block in it. And I don't know if you've looked at small blocks lately, but they're 3 or 4 times what an LS motor costs, which is crazy. I passed on so many motors when I was younger for so much less than what they are now. It just, man, it sucks. I'd love to be able to get a good deal on a small block, but it's just the way the world is right now. But that's the rough plan. If anyone's thinks they've got a better idea or a better plan or something you think will be better to do, let me know. I'm not opposed. Nothing's set in stone. Obviously, in 3 weeks, or well, probably 2 weeks your time, if I start pulling that thing apart, we're pretty much locked in at that point. But until then, it's a free game. So let me know what you guys think of the car and all this stuff. I'm super excited to have it. I'm super excited to do work on it on the channel, and hopefully some of you guys can help me out with some of the decisions and some of the parts and different stuff, because I don't have a lot of resources on that, because I've never had one of these cars. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you watching. Thank you for subscribing and supporting. And if it wasn't for YouTube, I guarantee you this deal wouldn't have happened. really, I just know for a fact that everything happens for a reason. So, thank you guys again, and I'll see you on the next one.